Oh. 10 years ago today, Bitcoin arose on Halloween. Funnily enough, the bank's worst nightmare. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. So beautiful, I'm gonna cry. And I thought in today's episode we might look at what the next 10 years might hold for Bitcoin. What we're looking at here is the projected adoption rate. This could be completely wrong, but it's fun to look at anyway. The dishwasher, since its inception, took 90 years to reach 60% adoption. Electricity took 20 years to reach 60% adoption. I don't think there's really too much value in comparing apples to oranges here, but Bitcoin and credit cards. So interestingly, the credit card took 20 years to reach 80% adoption. So in order to know where we're going from here for the next 10 years, it might be helpful to look at what the current adoption for Bitcoin is. Now that's pretty hard to do, but here's my attempt at it anyway. We're looking at a scan of all the wallets on the Bitcoin blockchain. There is 15,676,156 wallets total in existence on the Bitcoin blockchain that have at least $1 in them. Now there could be a lot more with pennies in them, but this is the best metric I've found, at least $1. 15,600,000 people involved in Bitcoin. But is it? No, it's not. I myself have quite a few wallets. I don't really need them all, but I do. So that's just me. There are tons of multiple wallets per person, so that number should be vastly lower than it is, but let's just go with it anyway. 2018 world population, 7.6 billion people. Wallets in existence, let's just say 15 million. 15 million is what percent of 7.6 billion? My goodness. And that figure's higher than it should be. And the price is what currently?
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy days. You know how some people compare Bitcoin to like the internet in the 1990s? Some people go even further back in time than that. With this metric in mind, I'd very much compare Bitcoin to a rock in whatever time period you want. What does the next 10 years hold? That rock has got a long way to evolve into something. We can possibly not even truly grasp what it's going to evolve into at this stage. That's how early it is. Let me know your thoughts, what you think is going to happen to Bitcoin in the next 10 years. Is it going to get replaced by Bitcoin Cash? Is it going to become the new world reserve? There is approximately, or exactly, richest Bitcoin addresses. No. What do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? You have no idea. So why are you even bothering? Now that's pretty hard to do, but I'm good. So let's look. And I thought in today's episode we might look at, okay, so in today's episode we actually have a giveaway. There is an ICO currently running, it's called Bidu, and they are basically going to run their own giveaway, but in my comments section. So here are the rules if you want to enter. The reward is for 100,000 Bidu tokens, and in order to win, the person who leaves a comment with the most interested, intelligent, or scalable use case for the project will win. And they want you to put your Telegram handle in your comment section so they can reach out to you and they can give you the tokens. So I brought in my good friend Andy to review this project for you all. Off to you, Andy. Oh, and just a side note, the website has actually been updated and looks a bit nicer than what Andy's looking at.
Hey guys, Andy from the ICO Review channel here, and if you want more in-depth ICO reviews and breakdowns, come and do that whole subscribe thing. But for today, we'll be having a look at Bidu. Now, this isn't what I anticipated when Crypto Daily sent this over for me to have a squiz at, but it's an intriguing premise. So, at a glance, Bidu are a digital advertising screen network, and you can see why I didn't necessarily anticipate that. But looking a little bit deeper, the whole premise here is that outdoor advertising is still relatively profitable, relatively effective in, the whole scope of the advertising realm. It's a little bit hard to ascertain metrics as to who's viewing what and where. For any of you that have done targeted advertising on social media, you'll realize that you get, printouts and graphs and whatever you need to show you who is viewing what. These guys have created two things. One a little bit more impressive than the other, in my opinion. So the first will be and is an online portal where you can initiate your ad campaign, buy ad space, but where you're purchasing the ad space is on these 84-inch LED billboards currently in and around the UK. And this is where the analogy of targeted advertising via social media comes into play for me, in that all of these billboards incorporate facial recognition technology, so cameras and software, so you know who is viewing the advert at any given moment, which means you're getting the efficacy of outdoor advertising, say in, major metropolitan areas or sporting arenas, with all the benefits, metrics, and the ease of accessibility one might expect from initiating social media campaigns. So when we start looking at projects like Facetune, people get a little bit iffy with facial recognition technology. But say what you will about facial recognition tech, this is a really unique, in my opinion, application of that technology, especially incorporating blockchain. But we'll get to that. I wish I had a little bit more to show you in terms of the advert interface, but there we are. You can at least see that the online portal is accessible. You can go make an account at portal.bidu.com. And in terms of locations, the ICO page actually says that there was one billboard, but they need to update that because in truth, this map is showing quite a few more. Going into the Telegram and having a chat with them, it's up to like 24 active billboards right now. So this for me ticks off the MVP requirements, minimum viable product requirements. It's not just a pipe dream on paper, which many of the early 2018 ICOs were. So from here, I've got two major questions. Why do they need an ICO? What's the purpose of the blockchain tech? And what's to ensure adoption? Because like any good utility, the value of the token is tied intrinsically to how much this platform is being used. In terms of adoption, let's talk ease of accessibility is a major factor. If they've stuck to the roadmap so far, and if they keep doing so, then we're going to have applications, which means you can launch these 10-second ad spaces from your phone anywhere in the world. And Q3, Q4 of 2019, they'll be integrating live video broadcasts, and that changes the dynamic of what these boards are delivering by that point. Further points towards the adoption piece, we've got an individual that some of you in the UK might know called Michael Edelson, who is the non-executive director of Manchester United. Apparently, he's quite prolific in the world of stocks and investing. And one more thing towards the adoption piece, they were the winners of something called Pitch at the Palace, which some of you in the UK might be aware of. And then there is this whole section in the white paper talking about expansion, etc., etc. But I'll let you guys dive into that. So the second question was, why do they need a token? So each one of these tokens represents a single 10-second ad space on a digital advertising screen. So like I said before, utility token intrinsically tied to the use of the platform. But let's say you want to disperse your advert over 3,000 screens, that's 3,000 tokens, 10 seconds a slot. So the more of these screens they have, the more demand hopefully there will be for these tokens over time. So, and of course, they're actually using the blockchain technology itself to create an immutable, there's that word for you, record of who is viewing what and where for external audit. But go have a look at the team, flick through the white paper yourself, go ask questions, all the questions in the Telegram, do your own due diligence as always. So my non-financial advice tells me that because it's going to be such a long time in terms of the crypto space to see adoption of this platform late 2020, early 2021, that I wouldn't want to be dumping a whole bunch of ETH into this simply because of how volatile the crypto space is. We just don't know where ETH or Bitcoin or whatever is going to be at that time. I'd be inclined to put a relatively small amount of crypto into this ICO compared to the rest of my portfolio. But I do definitely think this is a good one to hedge your crypto bets long term because these guys are very clearly playing the adoption game. Other than that, I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I will talk to you in the next video.